Yeah, we're here at the PwC Experience Centre, mainly for the snacks, but also they've granted us access to some of their smartest minds here in the region. Delighted to be joined in the studio now by a partner here at PwC and the head of PwC's Academy for the Middle East, Amanda Line. Morning, Amanda.
Morning, Richard. Morning, Brandy.
Let's talk about the Great Resignation, because you've done some research. You call it your Global Hopes and Fears Survey, and you say this: the Great Resignation is not over. What's the story?
It's not. The Great Resignation is definitely a thing, and it's not over. According to our survey, globally, 19% of the respondents are looking to move jobs in the next 12 months. And in our Middle East survey, which has literally just come out this month, it's 30% are looking to move jobs.
Is that not normally the case? I mean, staff turnover is once every 3, 4, 5 years or so. That seems fairly typical.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit higher than we would expect, particularly Middle East versus global.
Right. So what's driving that?
Well, three things. Salaries and the expectation of getting a higher compensation. 70% of the respondents said that one of the reasons they would consider moving would be for salary. But I think what's more interesting is that 69% said that one of the major factors that they consider when looking for a new job is work fulfillment and work satisfaction. So much more around the intangibles. Isn't that interesting? 70% salary, 69% around the intangibles. So that's things like flexibility, well-being. I think it's easy to forget sometimes that a business is actually a community, and employees want to be treated as human beings by the companies that they work for. They want to know that they are cared for, that they're listened to, that they're seen, that they're understood, and that the company has a vision that they can buy into, and that the values fit, that they fit the values, the company's values fit them. I think that that's become increasingly important, and people want to be able to say, when they say, hello, I'm Richard Dean and I work for ARN, they want to feel good about that. They want to feel that that is a good fit. So it's very interesting that that aspect has increased up the agenda.
Which is interesting, and we'll get to that in a second, but you mentioned salaries there, and they are important. I'm looking at a headline out of the UK in the publication Accountancy Today. PwC announces the biggest staff pay rises in 10 years, 7%, 9% pay increases. Now, that's the UK, you're in the Middle East. So I'm not going to ask you specifically about your salaries, but generally speaking, this idea that companies are having to hike salaries to attract and retain talent, how real is that?
Yeah, it is real. I mean, in the Middle East, we've had a pay review already once this year. We're having a second one later in the year. We are committed to making sure that the salaries that we pay our staff are at least market rates. But it's not just about the salaries. It's all about other things like learning and development. If you go back to the survey, 40% of the respondents say that companies aren't doing enough to develop their staff. So it's not just about paying salaries, it's about paying for learning and development opportunities so that employees can acquire the skills they need to then develop, to get up the career ladder and realistically to move on if that's what they want.
Well, exactly, and that's traditionally what general managers here and HR departments are worried about, that they will invest in training and development to give staff the skills they need to get a job with a competitor.
Yeah, but if you don't invest in development, learning, knowledge, skills, then your business performance is going to be impacted, particularly at a time of significant transformation, and not just digital transformation, but with everything that is going on in the world around ESG, etc. It's an imperative. It's not a choice. It's an imperative. And if you develop people so that they have the skills that then make them attractive to other competitors, well, that's life.
It reminds me of the Richard Branson quote: is it, invest in your staff so that everyone wants to hire them, but give them a working environment so they never want to leave. Which brings us on to the workplace of the future that companies like PwC are trying to develop in terms of, swanky office here in the Experience Centre and the hybrid working model. Is it work from home, or do people want to actually be here? Your research suggests that people actually do want to be here.
I think people do want to be here. That's definitely our experience. If you walk around this office, Richard, you will see that almost every desk is occupied. People realise that, again, it comes back to this business as a community, and it comes back to learning from your colleagues, the ability to interact, to be creative, we're social animals. And I think there is a place for flexible working, of course. There is definitely a place for flexible working. But there is, I think, a stronger place for actually coming into the office and interacting face-to-face with your colleagues, with your clients.
30 seconds left. You run the academy here for PwC staff, but others as well for your clients. What are the things people are upskilling in? What are the top 1 or 2, 3 things that people are investing in?
Top 3 would be digital and technology, everything from Excel all the way through to coding and blockchain and everything in between, like all the emerging technologies, AI, etc. ESG, increasingly important. There's a skills deficit around ESG, so we're doing a lot of training there. And then I think the soft skills, leadership, critically important as we go through a period of change, leadership skills, communication, problem solving, empathy. If you think about the people experience, then all of those skills are really, really important. It's not just about the bottom line, it's about managing your people. I mean, just to finish with another quote, Richard Branson, it made me think of it. Simon Sinek actually said, 100% of employees are people, 100% of customers are people, 100% of investors are people. If you don't understand people, you don't understand business.
Amanda, great talking to you. As ever, long-term friend of the Business Breakfast. Good to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Amanda Lyne is a partner here with PwC and runs the academy here in the Middle East.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.